This is CalmGamer. Hi. Today I'm going to talk to you guys about how video game companies actually make money. There's 7 ways that I know offhand. I'm going to list them real quick and then go into some details. So we got retail sales, DLC, microtransactions, advertising, loot boxes, subscription services, and subscription service to a single game. So let's start with retail sales. On the retail sales side, you sell a game, let's say at GameStop or Amazon or through a digital store for $60. Now, the company actually selling the game let's say they get a cut of about 20%. And then, of course, Xbox and PlayStation and Nintendo need to get their cut as well. So that's going to be another 20% with royalties, distribution fees, and manufacturing of the game. On the plus side, they help you out with all of that in order to get your game to market. Which leaves you with about, as a game publisher, with a single purchase of $60, but $36 in your pocket. Not too shabby, but you still need to pay your developers. You need to pay the marketing team. There's a lot of money going out as much as the money is coming in. Now, in order to make up for that, they have DLC. DLCs are great. I mean, you can purchase them. You could purchase them for $10, $15, or you can pre-purchase them and even increase the base cost of the game from $60 to $80 and include 2 future DLCs. Sometimes DLCs are free, and the prime example here is Grand Theft Auto. You have Grand Theft Auto Online. They continue to release DLC content that you don't need to pay for, so everyone can play as long as they've earned enough in-game cash to actually purchase that content. And if they haven't, well, then you get shark cards. Which brings me to my next one. Microtransactions. Like, look, you have microtransactions. Shark cards are one example of microtransactions, where if you want some more in-game currency in GTA 5, you'll buy a shark card, and you could have gold cards, whatever, which basically gives you in-game cash to spend. But microtransactions can take many forms. You can pay for new outfits. You can pay for new weapons and advantages in a game. Of course, if you do microtransactions wrong, your game's not going to go anywhere because people don't like it enough. So let's talk about Wave 4. Wave 4, we got loot boxes. Now, loot boxes became famous in Star Wars Battlefront 2. Even before the game got onto the market fully. They had some early access, and that early access wound up with a revolt from the community. And that's because loot boxes are a form of gambling. You see, if you can spend money and not know what you're getting, it's a real downer for a gamer. But it's also a real downer for your wallet. It's a way for them to get more money and kind of really gut you for what they need. Then we have advertising. So I think advertising is really interesting because if you look at advertising across like Android and you look at it across the iPhone App Store, what you notice is that there's advertising in every single game. And that's because those games are free for the most part. And if they're not free, they still probably advertise to you. And the reason why is because you get like a little bit more income for every time somebody views an ad, and it's a way for you to be able to download the game for free. And let's admit it, at the end of the day, nobody really wants to spend any money on these games unless they're known to be extraordinarily good. There's too many things on the marketplace on the mobile app store for you to try and find a game that's worth a price for you to buy. So you need advertising in order to make that profit. But when it comes to console games have, from what I see, for the most part, and they've kind of stayed away from the advertising model, which I think is actually going to change. And hey, game publishers, if you're listening to me right now, turn off this video. Now, one thing that I think that they should do, and I think it's going to come in the future, is they should advertise within the game itself. I mean, why on earth, if you're playing Grand Theft Auto 5, would you not see Coke signs on the billboards? Would you not see a Coke truck going around town? It's an easy way for these companies to integrate directly into the world that people are so embedded in. Of course, I'm not saying that I should do that, but it's definitely a possibility. But there's also other things that are kind of interesting about that. If you think about Fortnite, for instance, you might think that when they're selling NFL jerseys on there, that's just simply advertising. But it's really weird because like they need to license that content. It's kind of like a DLC content. And it's actually amazing they have that deal because the number of people that need to be in a room and a number of different fights that you have to have about has to look exactly right in order for them to put them on jerseys within Fortnite. So it's really amazing what they've done. Now the fifth way is a subscription service. I mean, you have things like Xbox has Game Pass. We have EA Access. EA Access provides you access to pretty much a whole slew of their a little bit older games, which leaves their new games out of your hands if you are on Game Pass. But it gives you so many options of things to play, and the price really isn't that terrible for EA Access. The only downside is that you're paying for things and they don't own it at the end of the day. But yeah, it's pretty interesting. Cool. Way 7 is subscription access to a single game. Single game like Warcraft 3. Warcraft 3 lets you subscribe month to month so you can have access and play as much as you want. Of course, I do think that model is going to be expanded on. The subscription service is going to be huge. So if you look at my video on Google Stadia, essentially my belief is that they're going to charge you for playing games on their service, maybe month to month, but they can also expand on that. And think about it, like if you are these companies that are providing this service and you can charge per hour, you can charge for a set of hours. Like look, 24 hours you get this price, and 4 hours you get this price. It's going to be very interesting to see where that goes in the coming years. Now, with all the ways that publishers have to make money, they could use any one of these models and they could combine them. So, for instance, they release a free game like Fortnite. They got microtransactions, they got DLC, they have all kinds of things and different levers that they can pull to see how it is that they can get more money from the people who got their free game. Free is great. What's really great about free is you get a whole slew of people trying out your game on day one. Hopefully you get to keep enough of them to make your business model work. That's the risk with a free game. But of course you can offer DLC, which can just promote people getting into your game and playing more and spending more on shark cards or whatever that might be. You have microtransactions, which again, if you're on Fortnite, you have NFL outfits, you have all kinds of different outfits that you can get. And you still have loot boxes if you want, but I would personally stay away from it. But there's just a ton of ways to get it done. The $60 price tag for each game is kind of a misnomer. I mean, that's on release day, and honestly, if you wait a couple weeks, it's going to be cheaper. And more than that, as a game publisher, you release your core game for $60, and you release a deluxe model, which has some DLC content in it, for $80. And then you release an ultimate version, which could be $100, and maybe that $100 goes towards getting some exclusive content that you can't get anywhere else. So, as a game publisher, there's just so many different avenues and different ways that you can make money today that it really can mix and match it any way that you want. You just need to have a game that's actually popular. So, yeah, I think that's it for me today. I'll see you guys later.